Okay, folks, welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5 a.m., the final day of the month, quarter, and it's going to be a biggie. So the question really becomes: do fund managers, as it was pontificated about yesterday by Jim Cramer, do they come in and bail out this market because they were net buyers yesterday? I would buy that argument. I was making the argument last week that that's what we might be seeing, the jawboning down of the markets so that banks and fund managers could step in there and start buying up stocks. But when you take a look, this is gold. We'll come back to gold. When you take a look at, let's go with the Russell 2000, of which we booked long profits on yesterday, and now we're going in net short this morning of the Russell 2000. It wasn't our intent to do that, but I wasn't confident yesterday that we would get a back-to-back set of up days in the market. So the shares of the Russell using the TNA the TNA is a leveraged ETF, hit our price target, and they sold off. They did manage to rally back late in the day, but at current, you can see that we're down a little over 1% on the Russell. So absent some news forcing a gap up at the open, it appears as though we're going to see a down session. Good morning, Kat. Hope all is well with you. So let's keep an eye on the Russell. Had a very, very good day yesterday. But today, the rally is certainly under pressure. Again, the goal here is not to bet that we're going to see a market crash. The bet here, or the want here, is to see whether or not, can this market put together two back-to-back up days? It's as simple as that. The NASDAQ 100. Now, what had me a bit skeptical about this market yesterday was the fact that the Russell 2000, while it did not gap down and put in a new weekly low, the triple Qs did. Also, the XLK put in new weekly lows. Now, going into the week, it was our strategy with long positions, which we put on late last week, was that if we got new weekly lows, we would look to stop out. We didn't stop out of anything yesterday. We just simply booked profits on our long bet. And you can see we are now down spot 1.3% on the Russell. Do we have a potential head and shoulders setup here? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder? Maybe. I had to reboot, so I don't have this all queued up properly yet. My symbols. All right, the E-minis, S&P 500 E-minis, down about a half percentage point. Yesterday was all about the comeback stocks. Boeing did really well. So we are back down below what appears to be a very porous support level at the 30-50 mark, which is not instilling a ton of confidence that we can't hold that level. We'll set up an alert here. So you can see I have an alert set for if we do rally up and through the 30-50 mark, or if we break down below the lows of the 28th. And that will give us a better barometer, or will act as a better barometer for what direction we want to trade here. The Dow down spot 6-7%. Again, take note of these lower highs, lower lows. Let's bring up the dollar, see what it is doing today. The dollar had a really good day yesterday, and it continues today, back firmly above the 97 mark on the Dixie, and we've recaptured a support level. Now, if we do see a recovery in the market, my guess is that yields will be spiking, and we'll see a leadership change. And we already put our nickel down on the table and went long of the banks with an opening position. If we see a fade on yields, you'll probably see a rally in the bank stocks. But at current, that yield has yet to rally up higher. We're seeing a rally in bonds. That means the yields on the 10-year continue to pull back, albeit slightly. The VIX, rough day yesterday on a daily basis. We're up at current. We're still above that ever threatening, and I do mean threatening, 30 mark. The fact that we're just lingering here, it's like one big storm cloud over the markets, and we have a bunch of people in the pool. And you have to wonder at what point, if and when, we get some lightning bolts coming down and people go scattering. That's my analogy. I've seen the VIX this high for this prolonged a period. So the VIX, again, ominous, holding a support level. This really needs to be updated. Let's get rid of this. Okay. And what we want to do here is get rid of this. And let's go with this. So much for my artwork this morning. All right. All right, so this is our range, our risk range. If we break the support level here at around 32 on the VIX, these are the July contracts. They may look different on your end-of-day charting software, especially if you're using stockcharts.com, bringing up the VIX. But it's in the ballpark. So if we break down below the 32 mark, we could probably see the high 20s on the VIX, probably in the snap of a fingers. And if we break out above 35.43, this market's got a lot of problems here. So beware the VIX. We've been doing a lot of talking about the VIX of late, but it's worthy. It's referenced by many traders. institutional traders, they watch it for a reason because they act on it. Create alerts here. All right, we're good. Let's check out commodity prices. Silver up slightly, not much happening here. Gold. If we see a rally in yields, a pullback in bonds, that's going to act as a headwind. Good morning, Tommy. Yeah, please smash the like button. Thanks, Tommy. Every day I forget. Thank God for you guys. You guys are better YouTubers than I am, and gals. So beware of, I want to show you a chart. I went over this with members last night, and this is the reason why I keep bringing up yields. If you take a look at the 10-year yield, you can see that we're putting in higher. And granted, let me preface what I'm about to say here. We only have Monday in the books. It's a weekly chart, so a lot can happen here before the end of the week. But it is an abbreviated week, and to get where we're at current, meaning where we're at this week, we needed last week to be pretty solid for yields as well, or the past couple of weeks. Last week was not a good week for yields. But we did rally a few weeks ago. We pulled back. Now we have a higher low, right? So this is not a measure of one day during a week. This is a measure of several weeks and the culmination of all. So what we're doing is we may be flattening out here, putting in a higher low. Same deal here with our Stokes. So what's the market sending us a signal about? It's sending us an early warning signal that we may see a flattening out. So the question becomes, okay, if this comes to fruition, what does well, what does not do well? What does well are the banks. What doesn't do well are yields. Is gold. Now, what I did say last night is, God forbid, for those who are short of gold, God forbid, you see yields rally and you see gold rally as well, much as what you've seen with the dollar and gold, all rallying together. Gold used to care. This time last year, if you saw a bip up higher on the dollar, you saw gold tank. Not anymore. That's in the rearview mirror. So I predict that's going to happen yet again, but this time it's going to be between yields and gold. I don't know if it's time yet. And the last time we saw an extended period of both yields rising and gold rising as well was during the stagflation days of Jimmy Carter. And probably, well, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a show on Thursday because it's an abbreviated week. Maybe one day this week I'll go over a chart of that time frame, if it's of interest. If it's of interest, leave a note below and I'll go over it. All right, so we're flat on the week, or as of the close yesterday, flat on the week. We'll see what happens. All right, this by the end of the week, this may be a disaster area. We have broken down below the lower band of support, and the conversation will be for no reason whatsoever. So we'll see what happens. But this is what I'm watching along with the VIX. Now, back to gold. It continues to bounce around here. Ahmed, can I talk about work costs? Yes, I can. I will definitely talk about it because honestly, I have some really great members that were asking me about Workhorse and SHLL over the weekend and yesterday. And, I mean, they've just gone completely parabolic. I didn't see how they closed yesterday. Maybe they pulled back off the highs of the day for all I know. But when I looked at them, they were just ridiculously overbought. And honestly, if I could get to borrow, I'd be looking to short them. Rampant speculation. Crude prices, we'll go with the light sweet. It was up yesterday very, very nicely. I thought we were going to follow through today. Maybe we still will. But we are down over a percentage point on light sweet crude. Let's clear this off. Remove. Okay. Remove. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for here on light sweet. A buddy of mine went very, very long of oil, either late last week or yesterday, one of the two. He was talking to me about it last night. All right, so if you take a look at oil here and you block out the fact that we're down on the session, we have a nice series of higher lows, and we have a bottoming out, a retest of support back here on the 25th. We rallied, pulled back, higher low. Didn't even tap support yet again. It was that strong, and then we rallied up higher yesterday. Very impressive move. So this may be the pause that refreshes. The one thing I do have a concern about, and this is not to get political, I don't want to go into Orange Man bad or anything like that, but you have to wonder how much the polls are or could influence this market. I don't believe the polls, but they can influence the market, especially if the social unrest continues to rise here, and it's really scary stuff, to be honest with you. Nat gas, what a move yesterday. Massive short squeeze yesterday, and we're off the highs of the session. We're holding support. We're down, what is that, spot 88%? Interesting. Let's take a look at a weekly chart really quick. At one point in time, I would have bought the UGAZ, but you can't anymore. Well, you can, but it's going to be sunsetting. All right, so we have a lot of resistance above here. I have no interest in this. If this is going to be a speculation market, I want stuff that's making new all-time highs. And we'll watch for blow off top. All right, before we go to chart requests, I want to go back to the Russell 2000 because it wasn't our intent. It just happened to be that way, that we went short of the Russell because we hedged our position, which we opened up on Thursday, and the shares rallied on Monday. So we booked profits as we saw topping action, and we hit our price target. And we kept the hedge on in anticipation of a sell-off, which we got. And now we're selling off this morning a bit, but we're coming off those lows. I really would like for this market to rally, and I'm looking for the market to give us an opportunity to exit that short position. So hopefully we'll get it. It's looking good so far this morning, but we certainly don't want to count our chickens before they're hatched. All right. Let's check out some watch stocks, which is Workhorse is one of them. All right, so let's go with. We'll bring up both. I'm not familiar with how it closed yesterday, so let me just refresh myself. Yeah, this is nuts. You know, admittedly, on Sunday evening, I said that these shares are setting up to be a short. And I still stand by it. You know, the key to, again, I don't know if you can get to borrow here. I just don't know. I'm looking at the volume here. I'm making the assumption that you can. Ahmed, do you know if you can get to borrow on these? So we closed out the day yesterday with RSI at 94.78. I mean, you're talking about ridiculous nosebleed levels. And when you combine RSI with the fact that we closed out the day well above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, not just on a daily basis, but also on a weekly basis, we're at 89.05, trading above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this a long time, and I've made my bread and butter. The reason why I named the contrarian trader was because I was shorting nosebleed stocks like this. This is a 4-hour chart. RSI 89.74. And many times they'll humiliate me. I'll open up a position. You have to stay small. They'll humiliate me. They'll still continue higher. But you need to know that irrational stocks have a tendency to go higher until the music stops. And all of a sudden, they're in massive free fall because this trajectory, I don't care if they found the cure for cancer and then the only party in town. This trajectory is unsustainable. This will not last absent a buyout. So if I could get to borrow here on Workhorse, I would be looking to open up a short position. But there's a strategy behind it. I would not do it at the opening bell. Because all too often you have people trying to sell these things off short into the open. And what happens? They get squeezed into the close. So please be very, very careful. There's a strategy behind doing this. And it's certainly not to try to bet that the shorts are going to win in the morning. They may. One day they will. There will be that opportunity. But I wouldn't want that to be my first opening position. So Workhorse, absolutely insane. But with that insanity comes opportunity. Good morning, NY. Here it is on TrendSpider. Let's see whether or not any of their algos pick up resistance levels. Yeah, look at this. It did. And for those people that are interested in TrendSpider, there's a 35% discount link in the description area below. You need to use that link and that discount code. Yes, I catch a piece. And absent them running their own specials, that's the lowest price you're going to get on the internet because I've been doing business with them for so long. All right, so Workhorse, we have resistance here. And I want to know when we flirt with this. What's wrong with me today? we're going to keep this active for the week. I don't think next week we're going to be trading where we're at or better. All right, so our alert is set. And this is going to be a nasty, nasty sell-off. The other position I wanted, not position, the other stock I wanted to talk about was SHLL. RSI daily basis 92.41. Again, I don't know whether or not I can get the borrow here, but to me, if I can get the money, the borrow, this is money in the bank. But you need to use a strategy. You can't go jumping in with both feet shorting this thing, because that's what most amateur money does. They go running in, betting they're going to be able to short. Good, RL. Thanks for that. Good morning to you. That's what you want to see. You want to see them spike them in the morning. That's what they do. Because you have the amateur money. They have that FOMO. Now you can see we sold off the highs of the day yesterday. $37 spots, 7 million shares traded. This is nuts. Note the higher low on 80X green. So again, with this type of price action, trading above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, this is going to have a horrible, horrible correction. Weekly chart. RSI on a weekly basis of 99. Oh my God. It's absolute insanity. JA, good morning. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. Four-hour chart, not a bad close yesterday. RSI intraday basis, 92.02. Yeah, Tommy, I think that this is way too much money sloshing around out there. Way too much. I mean, this is absolute insanity. That being said, it can go higher until it stops, and that's when you pounce. The key is with trading these extreme overbought stocks is making sure that, most importantly, because I learned this lesson with Fizz. I shorted Fizz, I guess about 2 years ago, FIZZ. And little did I know that it was not little did I know. I didn't do my due diligence well enough. And the shares are very, very tightly held. There aren't a huge number of shares outstanding. And it was very difficult to short. So that's the first thing I would look at. The second is timing. When you open up your position or when you add to your position. And thirdly is incrementally building your position. If you jump in with both feet, you're going to have your face ripped off. So 15-minute chart here on SHLL. Nice W formation formed yesterday. Setting the stage for a pre-market move this morning. Let's check them out in the pre-market. We'll go to Workhorse as well. Incredible. So we're up about $1.20 or so. Workhorse up about 90 cents, give or take a penny. This is like a jiu-jitsu stock. You use the momentum of the stock against it. But again, you need to wait. You need to be very, very patient. Okay. I have another chart request to go over, and we have until, actually we're overdue. OPK, OPCO Health. This has been on a tear. Monthly breakout, last day of the month. Very, very nice. Just off the highs of the month. Weekly chart. We have a weekly breakout so far. Obviously, we have a couple of trading days left to go here. We'll see whether or not it holds. But at current, breaking out on a weekly basis. Healthcare was up yesterday. It did not put in a new weekly low thus far. I know because we are long of healthcare. Daily chart. Daily breakout yesterday. So the chart looks good here. It's becoming a little bit hot, but that's okay. This is a very speculative market. So I think there's more upside here for OPCO. I would have made long. Using a stop loss, should we break down below 2.92. And we'll leave off with, I'll go with BA and Big, and we'll call it a day. Boeing, I know, spiked up yesterday. Some good tests. Notice how all the news turned positive yesterday. It was all horrible over the weekend. COVID this. Even though they were saying that the hospital beds over in Houston, this is what they do. It's criminal. They spark fears that all the beds over in the intensive care unit over in Houston were like 80, 90% capacity. And they did an interview with the CEO of the hospital there that they were referencing. This is they usually are at 80, 90% occupancy. And he debunked what the media was saying. I mean, they're so corrupt. It's crazy. All right, so monthly chart, we're back above support at 191.82. Weekly resistance, we're back above again, 191.82. Higher lows in RSI. I wouldn't be a buyer until I know we closed above 191.82 on a weekly basis. Or if you're going to do it on a daily basis, that's fine. But you make it shaken out. Ideally, you get a retest today of the support level. And that could happen this morning. All right, we'll keep this active for next few days. And we'll leave off with be a good day yesterday, down 5 to 6. It's down in the pre-market. That's not the right chart. Wow. We're below that support level at 191. See if we rally back. Let's go back to the Russell really quick. Oops. Russell. All right, we've rallied here a little bit on the Russell. Okay. That's Boeing. Big. Was that Big Lots? Yep. This is usually a pretty good recession play. Or is it Dollar General I'm thinking about? Maybe it's not Dollar General I'm thinking about. Monthly breakout. I would like to see a pullback and a retest of support going into July. 41.62 looks to be a really interesting support level to retest. No new daily high, or no new weekly high yesterday, but you didn't see that across the board anyway in the markets. Higher lows on Stokes, higher lows, RSI, daily chart, very similar to the weekly chart. I think it looks good. I think it's probably going higher. Price target may take some time, but I think we can head up here to around $52 per share. Nice W formation on Stokes. Momentum's going in the right direction. I like the trade. Looks good. And with that, folks, everybody have a profitable trading day. If I got to ask you to smash that like button, I'd really appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon. Be well.